Hi, so here we are with our live. Let me invite our guest, Devasmita.
Yes.
Hi,
Hi,
hi.
Shruti. Can
So
you see
finally,
me
yeah.
clearly? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
you are.
okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
okay.
So
Yeah.
this is good, and just to begin with, I wanted to say that more than professional, this was more personal for me because. I love illustrations. I began, when I was born and I was growing up, I was actually drawing. Whatever I would see,
Okay.
I just wanted to draw. And there was
Mhm.
this Dennis the
Yeah.
Menace. So I would just buy the comics or get the comics in the Times of India. Saturday Times used to have some strips of it, and I would just draw. Just because I wanted to. And then at some point, maybe I wanted to learn also, but or
Hmm.
maybe make it a profession, but just didn't happen. So life has its own ways of. So, um, Devasmita,
But
I would love
you
to.
can always do it now.
I know. I keep going towards it, but then life pulls me back, and then I'm back somewhere. Even I don't know. So maybe sometime soon I will figure something out
Absolutely, absolutely.
with the
Good luck with
drawing.
that.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Devasmita, you have been awarded for what I have been dreaming to do. So tell us about it and how exactly your journey began, and a little about how the first illustration happened.
Wow. That's that's definitely reminds me of a lot of things, a lot of good things. So
Sure.
it all started from my childhood. I was always like just how you said, I was also very, very interested in illustrations. I mean, at that time, it was not really illustrations. The word was not illustrations, right? It was just like you enjoyed drawing. So
Yeah.
fortunately, I grew up in Calcutta, and I used to go to a school which encouraged a lot of these kind of artistic pursuits. So I
Wow.
always loved doing like illustration, singing, dancing, all of those things were just part of me. And also because of my parents and particularly my father. So my father is a theater actor and director. So, I grew up
Sure.
seeing him that he's always passionate about, whether it's about books, reading, or, collecting stories, visuals, always imagining things. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that inspired me quite a lot. So that's how it all started.
Hmm.
But then, like you said, I wasn't also very sure how to make it into a profession, right? And especially when I was growing up, I was growing up in the 80s and 90s in Calcutta,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
time you did not have too many avenues like today.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
if you want to become an artist, the only choice was to become a fine artist. Basically, get into painting and become an artist. And I wasn't really sure whether that was something I wanted to do. I loved reading comics like
Hmm.
Tintin, Asterix. I remember, as a child,
Yeah.
I
Sure.
used to love
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Of
And
course.
my mother was the one who introduced me to these comics, and she and I used to bounce off ideas, with these comics, and she never really stopped me. So this is something I want to mention because, nowadays I interact with a lot of parents, and you work with a lot of parents,
Yeah.
and there
Yeah.
is this thing I don't know, you can differ based on your experience, but I have felt that many parents feel, oh, my child should be reading comics because, it's not really the highbrow literature, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
my mother,
Mm.
yeah, and my mother never stopped me. And thanks to that, I have become a graphic novelist today. Because after a
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
I started also thinking that it's not just about reading the books, but also about learning how to create them. And that's how the journey began. It wasn't easy, of course. I slowly took step by step, but there were many people, many mentors in that journey who helped me become who I am today.
I'm sure, I'm sure. You know, like you said that drawings and illustrations are considered something on the lighter side.
Yes,
If a kid or anybody is writing like in text, a story, then it's considered more what you can say more full of substance. But
yes.
then in fact, when I was also growing up, this was the perception. And
Hmm.
we used to have these comics, and everybody would think, okay, if you're reading comics, then oh, it's funny. You're reading something, something lighter and all that. But then you have these. Then I came across Persepolis. I came across
Yes.
Mouse. Yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they are heavy. And Jerusalem. Uh,
Yeah.
to put
Yeah.
them, yeah, to put them as if you introduce them as comics, many would still take it as something on the lighter side. But I think we are increasingly becoming more visual when it
Yeah.
comes to storytelling. So
Thanks to, I would say
I
you're absolutely right. Sorry, did I interrupt you? You want to finish your thought?
no, not at all. Yes, I would love to hear your thoughts about it.
No, I think I completely agree with you on that, that the world is becoming more visual. And one of the reasons is globalization,
Yeah,
because of the world that we live in now, which is more and more connected through social media and through the internet. So you are exposed to different cultures, different languages. Sometimes when you're unable to understand the words, the meaning of the words, the literature, you understand the visual language better, right?
yeah,
So you see so
exactly.
much, like whether it's in cinema or in books or in any form of content that we are consuming nowadays, it's getting much more visual because of the connectivity, which is a great thing. I feel that that is actually expanding our horizons and also our narrow minded thoughts about that visuals are inferior to words. I mean, this is something I perhaps, you might have also heard me saying many
Yeah,
times, that I don't think there is any competition between words and pictures, right? They are
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah,
different entities and they have their own values in their own ways. And if you and I have enjoyed graphic novels or comics, that doesn't mean that we are better or worse than anybody else. It's just that
yeah.
that was something that we enjoyed and somebody else might have enjoyed something else. But that the plethora of options should be there. That is more important, that one should be able to choose what they want to read and there shouldn't be any judgment based on that.
Right. I think somewhere parents understand this now. And
Mm-hmm,
I see more parents who want their kids because at my story club also, this was now I'm talking about somewhere in 2019 or something. Parents
mm-hmm.
were keen that, I am giving my kid a drawing book and she or he is going to draw the story. Is that fine with you? I said it's absolutely fine as long as it's a story. So somewhere, I see a shift in the way parents are also thinking. They want
Mm,
to, they want their children to be, you know, be more visual with their
yes,
storytelling.
yes.
So there
I
is
mean,
a shift.
I mean, you work with them more closely, so definitely you must be knowing this much better than me. But what I have felt is, yes, there is this interest, there's this growing interest, and like I said, because of more visual um, elements around us, more visual communication around us, we are more inclined towards visuals. But I wonder whether this interest continues for a longer period of time or not, because
Okay.
this is also quite true that when you're very young, like kids up to the age of, I would say, 8 to 10 or 11, that's the time when parents encourage them to draw. But more than that, they expect
Later.
them to
Okay.
get more serious into maths and science, and then art becomes a secondary thing. So
Right, right,
that
right, right.
that I still feel that, do you really think that that could become a child's profession, a career, or do you just want them to enjoy it as a child, and then you forget about it because you think that's not going to be a sustainable career? But the fact is, if you continue with that, there is, I mean, in this world, like you said, it's getting more visual. So there are more visual careers that are
Yeah,
absolutely now available to you. So if you're not getting interested in that, not getting more exposed to that, not exploring it much, then you won't get a chance in getting into these industries. And I've seen many people, they had that interest as a child, and then of course in the middle it was all lost, and then they went into something completely different, and at a later stage in life they had a lot of interest, whether it's in cinema or books, illustrations in general. But it, of course, like any other craft, it also takes time, and
yeah.
it takes time to practice and evolve with time.
Is there a way of, I have a question for you. Is there a way
Mhm.
of making your illustrations better, your creative, your talent, your illustration talent or drawing talent better without going to a professional school? Because, see, like you said, that many people realize later on. Let's say, take my example.
Hmm.
So now, if because in India, I don't think there will be a school which will accept me after like,
Yeah.
25 years of working somewhere and then, I'm coming back to school. So that's not a concept really here. So how do I, if I have to? So is there
Yeah.
a way that kids who, yeah, want to, they
Well,
can,
100%. I mean, in today's world, it's a reality, right? You don't have to go to a big school. In fact, the concept of education is being revisited. The way we have been taught, it's being
yeah,
questioned and revisited and revised. So definitely, with this world of globalization and interconnectivity, education is becoming more and more democratized. So you don't have to go to a big school or big college or big university to get a degree. In fact, myself, I mean, I can talk about me. I did not go to any art college to become an artist.
mm,
I was in a different
okay,
profession, somewhat similar to you. I mean, I started out, I did my master's in communications, and I started working with international development agencies like the Oxfam, UN, and then European Commission projects, and all of these things. And I was managing campaigns and media relations. That was my main area of work. From there,
okay,
I made a transition, and since 2000, so I got published from 2010 onwards. But 2017 is when I actually left that career and became a full-time author illustrator. So before
okay,
that, I
okay,
worked
that's interesting.
for more than a decade.
Okay. That's
Yes,
interesting.
yes,
Okay, so all
yes.
these
And
all these illustrations that I see on your walls, uh, that's without any professional training?
yes. So professional
Wow.
training in the sense, I did not go to any art college,
Yeah,
and I did not, study art that way. But
yeah.
I did at a much later, in fact, 2 years ago, 3 years ago in London, I did a master's in children's book illustrations and graphic
Uh-huh.
novels.
Okay,
That's
okay,
because
okay.
I really, I had that interest that I wanted
Hmm.
to get to, get the
Explore.
feel of it.
Yeah,
So that's why I did it. And
yeah.
the course was very different because it wasn't really teaching you how to draw or create. It's more about creating your portfolio, and I mainly did it, like I said, because I wanted to experience that thing, that how does it feel
Yeah,
to
of
become part
course.
of an art college. But you can imagine that happened in what, 2023 or 2022, actually 2022 I did that.
Pretty recently.
So
Right.
Yes, very, very recently.
Hmm.
And I won't say, I mean, of course, I had fantastic mentors over there, but I won't say that they taught me how to draw or, create books because I was already published. And that's
Right,
why,
right,
in
right.
fact, I got this opportunity to get into this particular master's course because it's a very
Right.
specialized course, right? So what I'm trying to say is I learned there are different ways. See, one thing is you have to, and I don't want to give any wrong conception here that you can become an artist without knowing the basics of drawing. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
have to learn that, whether you go to an art school or whether you do online masterclass or workshops or you do, YouTube learning. That's up to you. But or you can buy books to also learn. But you have to learn how to draw. That's a must. I mean,
Right.
I have also learned how to draw. I didn't go to a college to learn it, but I did it myself. So you have to basically you have
So,
to learn
mm-hmm.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There is no easy way out, and I would never encourage. It's like singing or any other form, right? A form of art.
Right.
Like if you are not a trained singer, I mean, there are many examples in India, particularly like Kishore Kumar. Everybody used to say that he was not a classical singer, but hey, he practiced, he learned. It's not that
Mm-hmm.
he didn't know how to sing. So you have to
Right.
realize. The practice is very important. One thing
Of
is to
course, of
learn the
course.
basics, and the second is to actually practice it over and over and over again. I mean, my drawings, if you see some of my books from 2009 and 10, I want to hide them. They're pathetic drawings, I feel.
So, are there any that you posted which which are from 2010, the ones you want to hide?
No, no. I mean, the thing is, uh, there are many books. I mean, like I said, I did that course only here, and that was only a 1 year course, and
Hmm.
nothing really. I mean, I wasn't doing that course to get published because, like I said, I was already published,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
already
yeah.
had a literary agent. I was published in the UK. I was published in the US.
Of
I was
course.
published in Singapore, in India.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
most of my books that you see were published before that course happened. That course was
Hmm.
just for me, it was more like I said, I wanted to experience, I wanted to get a taster of how it feels like getting into an art college.
Sure,
And
sure.
also because at that time, I had the bandwidth to do it. It was just after COVID, so the world was slowly opening up. I had some time in hand, so I could do it. But what I have certainly done and I continue doing is I don't think I have been able to create, the illustrations that I want to create. So I am learning with every
Okay,
project.
okay.
So with every project, I feel like, okay, I want to do something special. I want to make it better. And that's why I think with every book, because every book is a long journey, right? It takes about two to
Sure,
3 years to create a book. And
definitely.
by the time the book is done and it gets out to the world, I already feel like, oh my God, I could have done it better.
Every artist feels that way, when their work is out there, they feel that it could have been better. So even a writer feels that way. So you're just being a perfect artist, a perfect writer.
Well, I think, see, for all of us, and I'm sure you agree with me, that the day we say we have done it, we are perfect, we're so proud of ourselves,
Yeah,
then we're
we
done.
stop.
There's nothing else to
Yes.
learn, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you can only get better. I don't think
Yeah,
the idea is to become the best. The idea is to get better with
better.
everything that you do. Yes, the
Yeah.
aim, like a lot of people have this, I want to become the best this. I feel like you should just say that I want to become better than today. That should be the
Hmm.
aim. The aim is
Yeah,
not to become the best because, first of all, there is no best. Because how do you compare? And especially in the
yeah,
world of art, maybe in the world of science, you can still have those kind of parameters. But when you have, when you're comparing something very subjective, there is no concept of being a best, you know.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
can
yeah,
just,
yeah.
as an artist, as a creative, I feel like you could also only aim to become better with everything that you do in life.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Now, a very controversial thing that always, keeps. But you're here with me, and I would really want to hear your thoughts about it. Uh, with like we just discussed that that we are getting more and more visual by the day, and we have so many of these online platforms. We are going digital. Uh, where do we stand with books? When as an author, as a storyteller, when you go out there to sell your books, the hard copy, where do we stand now? Because I have spoken to some bookstore owners and there has been a version.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I have a different take on this, and of course, it's not my opinion is not a universal opinion. It's just based
Sure.
on my experience. Uh, this whole idea has been floating around for a while, right? That, oh, books are going to be obsolete and no one is going
Yeah.
to read books, no one is going to buy books. The book industry is going to go away. It hasn't, because I've been
Mm-hmm.
hearing this for past 10 or 15 years. And
15
it's
years.
getting
Yeah.
only more and more strong because people like us, we have a career based on this industry, and there
Mm-hmm.
is no dearth of work. There's work constantly happening. There are constant publishers asking for manuscripts. Especially I'm talking about the picture book industry, the graphic novels
Yeah.
industry, the children's and young adults. There is a lot of work and also a lot of competition. So there
Mm-hmm.
are more writers coming in. So that's why, people often approach me saying that, oh, I have written something, or, uh, is this publishable? And I always say that this market, this industry is so robust and so
Mm-hmm.
competitive that you have to first learn your craft. Don't think that just because you've written something, it will be published. And
Mm.
to get it published, talking about traditional publishers, it's a long process. I mean,
It's a
there are
long
so
process.
many people trying to get through it, and you get paid. You get paid advance. You get paid royalties. So of course, it's a lot of money, and with that, you pay your bills. So and
Mm.
that industry is going, like, it's not going anywhere. It's pretty much
Mm.
there. uh, of course, with books, one thing is for sure that, and I would say that's again a plus, that is, books are getting diversified in different forms. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, earlier there were only books, and of course, there was some cinema, films used to get inspired or be based on books. Now you see more and more of those things. There are so
Mm.
many
Yeah.
agencies who are just looking at acquiring books that can be translated in the form of a series or a film.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah. Yeah.
animation films,
Mm.
ebooks, all these options are now there, which is again great for the creatives. Because with
Mm.
everything, like, if you have your IP, if you're creating your IP, then with every transition in the form, you are actually getting paid. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's much, I mean, the world is getting better for creatives to have a better career. But yes, it's also very robust and, like I said, competitive industry. So you have to know, and you have to be ready to evolve. You can't just
Mm.
say that, okay, I have learned it all and there's nothing more to learn, because the industry is also changing very fast with AI and, every single
Yeah.
development that we see. It's also changing very fast.
Yeah, you brought up the AI, whatever monster, or whatever we can now. Is there in illustration, in visual storytelling? Although I don't know if this is a question also to be asked or not, but because we see AI videos, lately I've been coming across these YouTube channels which are only AI videos. You see, so
Hmm.
the songs from the 80s and the 90s, they are being sung by somebody on the video who is AI generated. So
Hmm.
when I first came across such a video, I wondered, I said, this girl is looking too plastered, her makeup is too much. Okay. And then a little later I realized, oh my gosh, she's not even real. Okay. Because you come to know, I mean, because the movement of the jaws and everything, it just gives away. So, is there anything in illustrations that right now we can, tell ourselves that yes, AI can't do this. Okay, we are still better. Although I feel okay now here. Speaking of that, I do
Mm.
feel that AI can't be left alone. I can't just say that I have told AI and now I can go to sleep. And when I wake up, my Pulitzer winning book will be ready and I can just, go and collect the award. So AI is being led by us. Yes, of course. But yes, there is a whole lot of fear that is making the rounds. So is there anything in visual storytelling that
Yeah.
AI can't do?
Well, I mean, I think, see, it is a very controversial point, but first of all, like you said, I agree with you. I also don't think that there is no way you can shy away from the presence of AI, right? So it's there. It's there, and it's better for any one of us to learn it so
Yeah.
that you know what its limitations are. And
Yes.
that is helpful, because when it's like an unknown thing, that will always create more fear in you.
Yeah.
That's one. And if, I mean, I've tried to unpack it very step by step in my life, because as a creative, this is very important, right? Because you see so many noise around you saying, oh, you don't need illustrators, you don't need artists, you don't need script writers, filmmakers, all of that. I don't think that's the case. AI,
Mm.
at least at this point, is creating stuff from the public domain, right? As long as you have more and more human experience, and storytelling is all about getting real human experience. As long as you are connected to humans, as long as you are
Mm.
connected to your human emotions, I don't think you have to be scared of AI imitating any of
Yeah.
it. I mean, AI can imitate your style. Like very
Mm.
recently, there was this whole trend about the Ghibli studio thing, right?
Mm.
Yes, but
Mm.
AI didn't invent it. We all know it
Mm.
was done by Hayao Miyazaki. So, and
Yeah.
nobody can replace Miyazaki's talent. I mean, yes, you can
Mm.
copy it, and there could be, all those breach of ideas and all of that. But AI cannot invent that. You are
Yeah.
still appreciating Miyazaki's work, and
Of
Miyazaki's
course.
work comes from the ground. So as long as you are connected to
Mm.
human beings, to human emotions, human experiences, I don't think you have to be scared about anything else. The
Right.
moment the problem begins, the moment you as a creative gets disconnected from the real emotions, the real experiences. And that is a
Mm-hmm.
fear for sure, because a lot of us just spend time scrolling and seeing things which are readily available, and we're being fed by that, right? And this mainly
Mm.
goes for the children, because you work a lot with children, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you are only consuming as a secondary consumer, that's where the problem begins. You have to get out and just experience life as it is. I think today, when I write something or I create something, a lot of it is based on my experience growing up, my experiences while I was working in the development sector. I've been to some of the remotest parts of the world. I've worked with people, whether it's farmers or, human trafficking survivors. Those are my
Mm.
stories. That's where I get my
Mm.
inspiration. And I don't think any AI will ever be able to replace my emotions. So
Right.
you can't you won't feel insecure if you have that human connection alive.
Right. Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
think they will get better for sure. I mean, the whole concept of AI, the model of
Yeah.
AI is
I
based
know.
on learning and evolving, right? It's like it's the same human model. So we are also
Mm-hmm.
evolving every day by learning, and AI is doing the same.
Yeah.
So that's where I
Mm.
feel that you will only feel a bit isolated if you don't evolve with time, and if you only let
Yeah,
AI
but
get evolved.
mm, exactly. But also, again, like you also said that the whole fear of, AI taking away our jobs.
Hmm.
Well, a few years ago when these vegetable markets, these supermarkets were coming up, there was this whole fear ki, oh my God, all our vegetable vendors, they are going to lose their jobs, and now we are not going to see any vegetable vendors on the streets and all that. I think ever since we see more vegetable vendors on the streets, and because now we are running backwards and you want, organic maybe, which is farm fresh or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know why it's
Hmm.
happening, but it is. I mean, they have stayed, the supermarkets have stayed, so everyone is there. The idea is to, like you also said, upgrade and upskill. So if AI is taking away one part of the jobs, it's creating some new part of the jobs. So
100%.
yeah, so with these delivery apps coming up, so there are so many new jobs for delivery boys that have been created. So now I see youngsters, they are delivering a big basket and this and that. So there's always like a shift. So all you have to do is keep upskilling and keep with the times. And then I think that fear will go away. Even
Right,
in
right. And
writing and storytelling.
everything, I
Yeah.
think you hit the right chord that whatever can be automatized, if something can be done technically, like you don't
Yeah.
need a human being to do that stuff, that job, if you're doing that, then you should be worried about it. If you are
Mm.
just doing something which can be easily, it doesn't really need a thinking brain or a thinking body, then you don't that job will be taken by
Mm.
AI. That will be replaced.
Yes,
That
yes.
person will be replaced. So if you're one of those, maybe that person should already start thinking that how am I, going to think about my future. But as long
Mm.
as you are in jobs where you are creating something from scratch, you are
Mm.
inventing some new idea, you're creating your IP, I don't think you have to be scared, whether you're a filmmaker, whether you are a writer, whether you're an illustrator. If you are creating something new, you are
Mm.
fine, because AI will
Yeah,
not
you're
be able to
safe.
create something new. It's only
Mm.
going to respond to your prompt. Whatever you
Exactly.
ask it to do, it will create that. The other thing
Mm.
is, if you're doing something manual, if you are using your hands to build a beautiful table, a beautiful sculpture, that thing AI cannot do. That is, again, that is something
Yeah.
you can do with your arms. Exactly like
Yeah.
the vegetable vendors that you said. Those kind of the manual labor will not be replaced by AI as of now, like those kind of work. But yes,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of other like machinery works, that can be automatized. Those are the kind of works that will be immediately taken up by AI. But like I said, AI will also get evolved more and more. That's what
Yeah.
research shows. That's what the future predicts.
Mm.
So the only way to compete with AI is to also keep yourself more updated, more
Upskilling.
evolved. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Ah, Deepasmita, that was such a, it was a deep conversation and
I
I
know.
quite enjoyed it and I don't want this to end, but I think we leave something for our future conversations and we are going to
Sure.
do more of these live conversations because, yeah, this looked really good. So, thank you. Thank you so much for your time and for all the thoughts that you shared with us. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure speaking with you. And I also want to congratulate you for everything that you are doing, including the Walnut Weekly, the Story Club.
Thank
It's a
you. Thank
fantastic
you.
idea, and I encourage everybody, every storyteller to participate and make it a huge,
Thank
huge
you.
success.
Thank you, Devasita. That was so nice of you.